जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। Hare Krishna. Welcome to Caitanya Pravaha online course. Today we are beginning the 8th chapter of the Adilila of Caitanya-caritamrita. In the previous 3 sessions, we have covered the first 7 chapters of Adilila, and in these 7 chapters, we have seen an elaborate description of the first 14 shlokas of the Mangalacharan. Kaviraj Goswami writes 14 shlokas in the beginning of Adilila and elaborates these 14 shlokas in first 7 chapters of Adilila. In these 14 shlokas, the first 6 shlokas describe Chaitanya Tattva, his identity, his different manifestations, and the internal and external reasons for Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's descent into this world. All this we have seen in the first 6 shlokas. And these 6 shlokas are elaborated in the first 4 chapters. And the 5th chapter elaborates on the next 5 shlokas. These 5 shlokas describe Nityananda Tattva, the glories of Nityananda Prabhu, and how he appears in 5 forms to serve the Lord as Sankarshana, Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, and Seshanag. And the next 2 shlokas are elaborated in the 6th chapter of Adilila. So these 2 shlokas describe Advaita Tattva. Advaitam Harinadvaitat Acharyam Bhakti Shamshanat Bhaktavataram Ishamtam Advaitacharyam Ashraye. So Advaitam Harina Advaitat. There is no difference between Advaita and Lord Hari or Mahavishnu. He is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, and he propagates the process of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. All this we have seen. Advaita Tattva also we discussed. And the last shloka, Pancha Tattva. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So these are the 5 features of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So Bhakta Rupa, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu; Swarupa, Nityananda Prabhu; Bhakta Avatara, Advaitacharya; then Bhaktakhyam, this Srivas Thakur; and Bhakta Shakti, Gadadhar Pandit. So all these 5 personalities put together are Panchatattva, and they inundated the entire universe with Krishna Prema. They did not discriminate between people. They did not say he is qualified, he is not qualified. No, they just indiscriminately distributed the treasure of Krishna Prema to everyone. So, and also Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu devised a plan to give Krishna Prema to even Mayavadis also. So he first accepted sannyasa, renounced order of life, and he made even Mayavadis and many other such atheistic people and fallen students and false logicians and karmanishthas, those who are addicted to fruitive activities, all of them also surrendered to Lord Caitanya when he accepted sannyas, and he gave them Krishna Prema. So the specific incident where Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu had a long conversation between the Mayavadis with the Mayavadi sannyasis headed by Prakashananda Saraswati is mentioned in the 7th chapter. So we have seen all these things in great detail in the first 3 sessions of our Caitanya Pravaha course. Today we will begin the 8th chapter of Adilila. So the 8th chapter of Adilila describes Kaviraj Goswami's inspiration to write Caitanya-caritamrita. How this author of Caitanya-caritamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, received orders from Lord Krishna and his Guru, that is described in the 8th chapter. That's the subject matter of this chapter. The first shloka, Kaviraj Goswami says, Vande Chaitanya Devam Tam Bhagavantam Yadichhaya Prasabham Nartyate Chitram Lekharange Jadopyayam. Vande Chaitanya Devam Tam Bhagavantam Yadichhaya I offer my respectful obeisances unto Chaitanya Deva, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Yadichaya Bhagavantam, he is the Supreme Lord, Bhagavantam. Yadichaya, by his desire, even a fallen, foolish person like me also has become a dancing dog in his hands. And now, Lekharange Jadopyam, although I am a Jada, I am an ignorant fool, still I am writing Caitanya-caritamrita. I have become an author, I have become a writer by his grace. He is making me dance. I am just a puppet in his hands. I am just a dancing dog who is dancing under his directions. He is the one who empowered me to write Caitanya-caritamrita. So in this way, Kaviraj Goswami offers obeisances unto Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu in the beginning of this chapter. Next, he offers obeisances to Panchatattva. Muka kavita kare yasabar smarani pangugiri langhe andha dekhe taragani. Yasabar smarani, by smaran, by remembering Panchatattva's, Muka kavita kare. Even a dumb man also can do kavita. Kavita means poetry. A dumb man can become a poet. Then Pangu Giri Langhi means a lame man can cross mountains. And Andhadeke Taragani, even a blind man also can see stars in the sky. So basically Kaviraj Goswami's intention is that although devotees may be extremely unqualified in various ways, by Krishna's grace, they can perform inconceivable and Herculean tasks in his service by Krishna's grace, by Krishna's blessings. So Kaviraj Goswami never considered himself qualified to write Sri Caitanya-caritamrita. He is only considering himself so humble and so fallen, and only by the blessings of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his dear devotees and representatives, he is able to do anything. He is able to write this. So that's the prominent theme or the point conveyed in this entire chapter. Now, Panchatattva, he gives all credit to the blessings of Panchatattva. And some people, some non-believers may not keep so much of faith in the glory of Panchatattva. So, they may speak so many things. But Kaviraj Goswami says that these non-believer statements are like croaking of frogs. Don't believe them. So, I am telling you that only by the blessings of these Panchatattvas I am able to write this Caitanya-caritamrita. Right? Their mercy is so powerful. That's why we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Before that we chant Panchatattva mantra seeking their blessings. With their blessings we can definitely be able to effectively chant the holy names of Krishna. So he further says, Kaviraj Goswami, Krishna nahi mane tate daitya karimani Chaitanya na mani le taiche daitya tare jani. Krishna nahi mane tate daitya karimani. One who does not believe in Krishna, one who does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, daitya karimani. Such people are demons, atheists. And Chaitanya na mani le taiche daitya kare jani. So similarly, one who does not accept Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead also can be considered a demon. So because Krishna and Lord Caitanya are same. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu thought that unless people respect me, they will be destroyed, and that's why he has accepted sannyas. See, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful that he wanted to give Krishna prema profusely. Chiradadattam nijagupta vittam swaprema nama amrutamatyudaraham apamaram yo vitatara gauraham Krishno janebhyastamaham prapadyem. Chirad adattam. For a long time I have not bestowed. What? Chirad adattam nijagupta vittam. The most secret confidential treasure of Krishna he has not distributed to anyone since long time. Chirad adattam nijagupta vittam. What is the treasure? Swaprema nama amrutamatyudaraham. Swaprema, his own prema, Krishna prema and nama. Nama is Krishna's name. So he has not bestowed Krishna nama and Krishna prema upon these people in this world since long time. But now he wanted to do it. Chiradadattam nijagupta vittam swaprema namamrutam atyudaraha. Ati udaraha means most benevolent personality, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So, apamaram yo vitatara gauraha. He is giving that holy name and Krishna prem to even pamaras, even the most fallen people also. So, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give, but there are some people who are not accepting it, like Mayavadis, Adhama Paduyas, we have seen in the previous session also. So, to give them also Krishna Nam and Krishna Prem, to make them also respect him, he has accepted sannyasa. So, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyasa with this one and only purpose, to make people surrender, respect him. So, when they respect, when they offer obeisances also, Mahaprabhu is willing to forgive all their offenses and give them Krishna Prema. To that degree, the Lord is very benevolent. He is the most benevolent. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Of course, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu also accepted sannyas to relish the mood of Srimati Radharani. That's a confidential reason that we will see as we progress in our discussions. Now, however exalted a person may be in the society, he is still a demon if he does not have faith in Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu or Panchatattva or Krishna. Now, we have to, now people may say that I am very logical. I cannot accept this kind of sentimental statements. Now, Kaviraj Goswami says that if at all you have some sense of logic, apply that sense of logic to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. He says, Sri Krishna Caitanya Daya Karaha Vichar, Vichara Karile Chitte Pave Chamatkar. So, Sri Krishna Caitanya Daya Karaha Vichar. Please meditate, please consider how great Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is. If at all you have some interest in applying logic, apply your logic. How benevolent is this personality? How compassionate is this personality? He delivered even Jagai and Madhai also. Can someone be more compassionate? Krishna killed so many demons. Lord Ramachandra also killed so many demonic people. And in various incarnations of the Lord punished and killed so many demons. Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narasimhadev. Varahadev killed Hiranyaksha. Like that, so many incarnations of the Lord subdued or punished or even killed demons. But Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu transformed all these demons and gave them Krishna Prema. Who else can be more benevolent than Lord Caitanya? Who else can be more munificent than Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu? Sri Krishna Caitanya Daya Karaha Vichar, Vichara Karile Chitte Pabe Chamatkar. By contemplating on the merciful nature of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, your mind will become astonished. Pabe Chamatkar. Okay. So Kaviraj Goswami urges all the readers of Caitanya-caritamrita to meditate on the merciful attitude of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? And he says that one who is infested with offenses will not get love of Godhead. Now the Lord is profusely distributing love of Godhead, but if someone is very offensive, they may not get. So he says, Bahujanma kare yadi shravana kirtan tabuta na paya Krishna pade premadhan. Bahujanma kare yadi shravana kirtan. Even if somebody does shravana and kirtana for several lifetimes, still one may not get Krishna prema. One may not get love for the lotus feet of Krishna if one is infested with offenses. So, there are two categories of people who do not surrender to the Lord. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Na bhajanti avajananti. Na bhajanti category of people are very innocent or ignorant. They don't know that they have to worship the Lord. But if you teach them that you have to worship Krishna, you have to worship Lord Caitanya, they will accept the process. Right? But second category is avajananti. While the first category, na bhajanti category, people are ignorant. Second category, people are arrogant. They are very arrogant. It takes a lot of time for them to get transformed. So, when somebody is very arrogant and offensive, although they may be studying scriptures, they may be chanting the holy names, because of their offenses, they will not get Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema is not so easy. Actually, Mahaprabhu is profusely giving Krishna Prema very easily. But offensive people will remain unfortunate like this because of their offensive attitude. The Lord is ready to give, but because of their offenses. For example, there is this Gopal Chapal. He wanted to defame Srivas Thakur. He wanted to prove that Srivas Thakur was a Shakta worshipper. We will discuss that in the next episode when the real incident comes. But point is, because of his offensive attitude towards Srivas Thakur, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu said that I will make you rot in hellish planets for 10 million lifetimes because you offended Srivas Thakur. But when this Gopal Chapel went and offered obeisances to Srivas Thakur and begged for forgiveness, then finally Srivas Thakur forgave him. So when somebody has offensive attitude, one cannot attain Krishna Prema. If one gives up one's offenses and then becomes very respectful to all the devotees and the Supreme Lord and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, naturally they will get Krishna Prema by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's grace. Now, he also quotes, how rare is this Krishna Prema? Actually, to receive Krishna Prema from the Lord is very simple. But it's very rare because of the complicated mindsets and offensive attitudes of common people. Right? Now, Hari Bhakti is Sudurlabha, that's mentioned here. Right? Jnanataha sulabha bhuktir yagnadi punyataham seyam sadhana sahasrair Hari Bhakti Sudurlabham. Jnanataha sulabha muktir, by jnana you can easily attain mukti. Bhuktir yagnadi punyataha. You get bhukti or sense enjoyment by doing some yajnas and other punya karyas, means pious activities. Seyam sadhana sahasrair Hari Bhakti Sudurlabha. But Hari Bhakti is Sudurlabha, very rare. Even if you perform hundreds of practices, sadhanas, it's very difficult to attain Hari Bhakti. That's rare. And that rare Krishna Prema and Hari Bhakti, the Lord is profusely distributing. But if we are filled with offenses, we cannot take it. Right? Now, in the process of chanting the holy names of Krishna, there may be offenses. But the concession to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees is that in chanting Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, there are no offenses considered. They will forgive even offenses also. Anyone who even chants Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda becomes ecstatic. So, offensive chanting doesn't lead to ecstasy. But inoffensive chanting vanquishes all sins and terminates our samsara, our material existence, and manifests prema. And to make our chanting inoffensive, we have to take shelter and blessings of Lord Caitanya and Lord Nityananda Prabhu. That's why we should first offer obeisances to Panchatatvas before chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because there is no offenses considered in chanting the holy names of Chaitanya and Nityananda. So, with these few words, Kaviraj Goswami begins this 8th chapter where he glorifies the merciful attitude of Panchatattva and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu in specific. So, now after saying this, Kaviraj Goswami begins the next topic of glorifying the author of Caitanya Bhagavat and also sharing his own inspiration to write Caitanya-caritamrita. Now, before Kaviraj Goswami has written Sri Caitanya-caritamrita, there was already several biographies of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu available. And one of the most authentic and prominent and popular biography was Caitanya Bhagavata, written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Actually, Caitanya Bhagavata was called Caitanya Mangala earlier. But Lochan Das Thakur has written Caitanya Mangala. Just to respect Chaitanya, this Lochan Das Thakur, this Vrindavan Das Thakur has changed the title of his own book as Caitanya Bhagavata. Earlier Caitanya Bhagavata was called Caitanya Mangala. So now, Kaviraj Goswami says, oh my dear readers, you read Caitanya Bhagavat to understand Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's glories and pastimes. Okay, so he is a Vaishnava author, Kaviraj Goswami, and he is writing the biography of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is referring to another author. In his own book, he says that if at all you want to understand the glories and character and activities and pastimes of Lord Caitanya, refer to that book written by that author. Refer to Caitanya Bhagavat written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Which author is so humble that he directs his readers to another book of the same thing? So, but Kaviraj Goswami is so humble that actually a Vaishnava, although he does a service, his intention is never to surpass another Vaishnava in doing that service. Prabhupada writes in the 7th canto purports, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 12th purport you can see. Prabhupada writes about Vaishnava thinking and Vaikuntha thinking. So Vaishnavas never try to compete with each other. There may be competition sometimes, but this competition is not with any envy or grudge or hatred or to dominate others. That competition amongst Vaishnavas is also to inspire each other to render more and better service to Krishna. That is the Vaikuntha consciousness. So every single devotee in a mature Vaishnava community in the spiritual world, which is the ideal Vaishnava community, every single devotee encourages and appreciates other devotees' service. Nobody tries to surpass another devotee in their service. Nobody tries to outsmart, defeat, or put someone else down so that my service is better than the other devotees' service. So Kaviraj Goswami is writing this beautiful Caitanya-caritamrita, an authentic biography of Lord Caitanya, but he says Vrindavan Das Thakur is the original author of the biography of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, Krishna Leela Bhagavate Kahe Vedavyas, Chaitanya Leela Ravyasa Vrindavana Das. Krishna Leela Bhagavate Kahe Vedavyas. Vedavyas has written Lord Krishna's Leelas in Bhagavatam. So just like Vyasadeva is the author of Krishna's pastimes, Vrindavan Das Thakur is the author of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Vyasadeva is the author of Srimad Bhagavatam and Vrindavan Das Thakur is the author of Chaitanya Bhagavat. So he is the real Vyasadeva of Chaitanya Leela. So hearing Chaitanya Bhagavat will destroy our misfortune. One can understand the ultimate conclusions of Bhakti Yoga by reading Chaitanya Bhagavat. Right, essence of Bhakti is given in Chaitanya Bhagavat, and atheists also will become devotees by hearing Chaitanya Bhagavat. He says, Atayeva bhaja loka Chaitanya Nityananda khandibe samsara dukkha pabe premananda. So he says that, my dear devotees, you worship Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and khandibe samsara dukkha, all your miseries of material existence are completely destroyed, and pabe premananda, you will also attain premananda. So read the glories of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda from Chaitanya Bhagavat. So, but if Kaviraj Goswami had such high regards for the existing biography of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, why he has to write again, right? Sometimes, now you see there are several authors, Vaishnava authors. Sanatana Goswami has already written a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. But Jiva Goswami, who is a humble servant of Sanatana Goswami, he also has written another commentary on Bhagavatam. So Jiva Goswami wrote, Sanatana Goswami wrote. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, another Vaishnava Acharya, he also wrote a commentary on Bhagavatam. And although these Acharyas wrote, Prabhupada has also written a commentary on Bhagavatam. Now, none of these Acharyas have a mood to surpass the previous Acharya. They have great eagerness to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam in such a way that they themselves are satisfied, of course, and in such a way that the audience in the modern times also are satisfied, and Bhagavatam should become accessible to the modern audience also, like that. So, when Kaviraj Goswami is writing this Caitanya-caritamrita, he is profusely glorifying Chaitanya Bhagavata written by Vrindavan Das Thakur, and he is seeking the blessings of Vrindavan Das Thakur, and he is only saying that whatever Vrindavan Das Thakur has not written in his book, whatever pastimes that Vrindavan Das Thakur has not recorded in Chaitanya Bhagavat, those pastimes I will write now. So, Adilila means the initial pastimes of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu that he performed in first 24 years of his life. Kaviraj Goswami summarizes in just 5 chapters, But the next pastimes that Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has done after he accepted sannyas, That Kaviraj Goswami elaborates a lot. Now, pastimes of Lord Caitanya performed in 24 years are summarized in 5 chapters. And the pastimes Lord Caitanya has done in the next 6 years are described in next 25 chapters. And the last 18 years in the last 20 chapters of Antyalila. Now you see, Lord Chaitanya, Kaviraj Goswami has taken extreme care not to surpass Vrindavan Das Thakur. That's the humility of a Vaishnava, right? So either in repeating the statements of previous acharyas, or not repeating the statements of previous acharyas but writing whatever is not mentioned only, in whatever way they do, they are basically being respectful to the previous acharyas. Now, you see, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he has written Sarartha Darshini commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, he writes in the beginning of his commentary that I have read Vaishnava Toshani commentary by Sanatana Goswami, I have read the Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami, I have read the commentary of Sridhara Swami. So I have read the existing Bhagavatam commentaries, but still I am very eager and enthusiastic to explain Srimad Bhagavatam again. That is his love for Bhagavatam, right? So he again wrote a commentary called Sarartha Darshini. But his mood is that if I am writing this commentary Sarartha Darshini only with the blessings of Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas, every single line of my commentary will create bliss to my readers. But if I am writing this commentary out of my own foolishness, my commentary will only create mockery. Okay. So if there is any credit in writing this commentary, the credit goes to Vaishnavas, Gurus and Krishna. If there is any blame in writing this commentary, I am responsible. So to that degree, he is so humble, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And Prabhupada wrote this Caitanya-caritamrita commentary, but he profusely referred to the commentaries written by Bhaktivedanta Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So there are 2 commentaries written by these 2 acharyas. They are Anubhashya and Amrita Pravaha Bhashya. Amrita Pravaha Bhashya commentary was written by Bhaktivedanta Thakur on Caitanya-caritamrita, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote Anubhashya. So Srila Prabhupada has taken so many inputs from the commentaries of these 2 previous acharyas only. So he has repeated the statements of Bhaktivedanta Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he has also added some of his own personal explanations that are relevant for the modern world, and he has presented Caitanya-caritamrita in English language to the English speaking people, whoever can understand English. So after doing all this, Srila Prabhupada says that I don't have devotion, I am not a scholar. He is Bhaktivedanta Swami. He says, I have no bhakti, I don't know Vedanta. That is his humility. If there is any credit for my translation work, all the credit should go to my spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And credit also goes to my American disciples who helped me, who assisted me in various ways to write this literature. So Prabhupada has given all credit to his spiritual master and his disciples. He did not take any credit for himself. That's the humility of a Vaishnava. He does not want to surpass other Vaishnavas. He does not want to outsmart other Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas perform so much of service to the Lord, but not in a mode of competing with other devotees, right? Even if there is some competition that exists in Vaishnava community, but that competition is only a healthy competition that's meant to inspire devotees to serve Krishna in a better way, in more effectively, right? Otherwise, devotees have no interest in competing or outsmarting other devotees. That's why he says. Now, Kaviraj Goswami gives more background. He says that there is one devotee called Haridasa Pandita in Vrindavan. So, Haridas Pandit is the chief servant of Govinda Dev. So, in Vrindavan, Govinda Devji is worshipped with so much of love and devotion and respect, and Haridas Pandit is the prominent priest there. Now, Kaviraj Goswami describes the qualities of Haridas Pandit. Vaishnavera gunagrahi na dekhaye dosha Kaya mano vakya kare Vaishnava santosha. Vaishnavera gunagrahi. So this Vaishnav, our Haridas Pandit, he accepts only the good qualities of other devotees. He does not find faults with other devotees, but he only sees good in all Vaishnavas. Vaishnavera gunagrahi na dekhaye dosha. He does not see the faults. And kaya mano vakya kare Vaishnava santosha, with his kaya, body, mana with his mind, vak with his words. He always wants to keep other Vaishnavas happy. Vaishnava santosha. The happiness, the pleasure of Vaishnavas is my goal. I don't want anything else. This is the mood of Haridas Pandit, right? And that Haridas Pandit used to discuss this Chaitanya Bhagavata book written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. He is always absorbed in describing Chaitanya Bhagavata and reading Chaitanya Bhagavata to other devotees and narrating the pastimes of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu as presented by Vrindavan Das Thakur. And by his causeless mercy, this Haridas Thakur has ordered Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write another biography of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu because Vrindavan Das Thakur was writing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, but the initial pastimes performed by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he elaborated a lot. He could not elaborate the later pastimes of Lord Caitanya. So the pastimes of Lord Caitanya after his sannyasa are not sufficiently elaborated in Chaitanya Bhagavata. So Haridas Pandit told Kaviraj Goswami, you are very familiar, right? So please write all the later pastimes of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. We will be very grateful to you. Not only Haridas Pandit, several other Vaishnavas in Vrindavan requested Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Govinda Gosai, Yadunandana Yadavacharya Gosai, Bhugarbha Goswami, then Sri Shivananda Chakravarti and many other devotees in Vrindavan, all of them requested Kaviraj Goswami to write Sesha Leela or the later pastimes of Lord Caitanya, which were not elaborated in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So then, as a humble servant of all these great Vaishnavas, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami agreed to write Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he went to Madan Mohan temple. Earlier he got the darshan of Govinda Dev through Haridas Pandit. Now he is getting the blessings of Madan Mohan. So Kaviraj Goswami went to Madan Mohan temple and he was seeking blessings of Madan Mohan to write this Chaitanya Charitamrita. So a garland fell from the neck of Madan Mohan and the Pujari came and offered that garland to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. That indicates that he received the blessings of Madan Mohan. So he says that I am just a dancing doll. Actually it is the dictation of Shri Madan Mohan. Another important element in Vaishnava writings is that they are personally dictated by Krishna. So Prabhupada also says this, Krishna is dictating this Bhagavatam purports to me and I am writing. So without Krishna's sanction, without Krishna's blessings, without the blessings of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his bona fide authentic representatives, no one can write anything spiritual. So a spiritual literature is potent to the degree the author is submissive to the parampara. If the mood or mentality of surpassing the Guru Parampara comes in the mind of an author, his writing cannot be effective. So a spiritual author like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has high regards for the previous acharyas and completely loyal to the writings and the teachings of previous acharyas, and as their humble menial servant, he is just repeating the instructions of previous acharyas in the form of these writings. Right? The philosophy that he has recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pastimes that he had recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita, all of them have their reference to the teachings of previous acharyas. Now, he took permission from Vrindavan Das Thakur also. He was praying for the blessings of Vrindavan Das Thakur. You have already written this book, and by the request of Vaishnavas, I am also writing another book on pastimes of Lord Caitanya only. Without your blessings, I cannot accomplish this Herculean task. Please bless me. Like that, Kaviraj Goswami is humbly, genuinely, without any pretension, unpretentiously, he is seeking blessings of Vrindavan Das Thakur also. That's the mood of a Vaishnava author, right? So now he says, Murkha Nicha Kshudra Muyi Vishaya Lalasa Vaishnavagna Bale Kari Itike Sahasa. Murkha, I am a foolish person. Nicha, I am very fallen. Kshudra, I am very lowly. I am very insignificant person. Murkha, Nicha, Kshudra Muyi Vishaya Lalasa. On top of this, I am into Vishaya Lalasa. My mind is too much into sense gratification. All these are not truth. But Kaviraj Goswami, out of his humility, he is saying this, right? Vishaya Lalasa. Where is Vishaya Lalasa? Where is greed for sense enjoyment in Kaviraj Goswami when he is above 90s, right? But he is saying like this out of his humility, and he says, Vaishnavagna bale kari etika sahasa. Only because of the agna or the orders of several Vaishnavas, I am doing this sahas. I am doing this great adventure of writing Caitanya Charitamrita. So he offers obeisances and prayers to Rupa Raghunath. Sri Rupa Raghunath Pade Yara Asa Caitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishnadas. So with the blessings of all the devotees, Kaviraj Goswami commenced his writing on Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. So we completed 8th chapter. Now we will enter the 9th chapter. So having described his own inspiration and the full background of writing Caitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins the 9th chapter by offering obeisances to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And the subject matter of this 9th chapter is to compare Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu with Bhakti Vriksha. Bhakti Vriksha means the tree of love of Godhead. So Kaviraj Goswami compares Caitanya Mahaprabhu like this. Let's begin the first shloka. Tam Shrimat Krishna Caitanya Devam Vande Jagat Gurum Yasyanukampaya Swapi Mahabdhim Santaret Sukham. Tam Shrimat Krishna Caitanya Devam Vande Jagat Gurum. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Jagat Gurum, he is the supreme teacher of the entire universe. Yasya Anukampaya, by the Anukampa or by the mercy of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Swapi Mahabdhim Santaret Sukham. So Mahabdhim means great ocean. Even a dog also can cross over the ocean by the mercy of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Basically he says that I am very lowly, but only by the empowerment of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu I will be able to write this Caitanya Charitamrita. Otherwise I personally have no ability, no capacity, right? So, and he again offers obeisances to Panchatattva. All glories to Panchatattva. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And he says, Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. I offer my obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau, Sri Jiva Gopalakau. Means offering obeisances to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan and seeking their blessings actually prepares us to render effective service to Krishna and the Vaishnava community. He offers obeisances to 6 Goswamis, whom he considers as his gurus, as his teachers. Then he says, Yei saba prasade likhi Caitanya lila guna, jani va na jani kari apana shodhana. Kaviraj Goswami's mood as a Vaishnava author is further reflected in this beautiful shloka. Yei saba prasade likhi Caitanya lila guna. Yei saba prasade, by the mercy of all these great souls, 6 Goswamis, Caitanya lila guna. I am describing Caitanya's leelas and gunas, means qualities and pastimes. And jani va na jani kari apana shodhana. Whether I am writing correctly or not, whether I know those glories or not, but still I am trying to write by their mercy. And why am I writing? If I am not sure whether I know it or not, apana shodhana, for my own purification. A Vaishnava glorifies Krishna either in writing or in speaking only for one's own purification. Self-purification is the primary agenda of a Vaishnava in writing the Vaishnava literature or speaking Vishnu Katha or Krishna Katha, right? So self-purification is very important. Although a devotee who is writing scriptures may want to render service to the Vaishnava community, may want to fulfill the desires of or orders of Vaishnavas who ordered him to write or speak, Still, he does not consider himself qualified or so great that he can serve Vaishnavas. I am writing to serve Vaishnava community. What does that mean? I know how to deliver them. I know how to benefit them. That's not the mood of a Vaishnava author. I am writing for my own self-purification. And if this is of some service to the Vaishnava community, let them accept it. Right? So they have to accept it, considering me as their servant. So, and whatever service I have done, writing or speaking, glorifying Krishna in the form of speaking or writing, it's all by the blessings of the 6 Goswamis. It's all by the blessings of Panchatattva, 6 Goswamis and Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Krishna and the whole Guru Varga, the Vaishnava Parampara of Vaishnavas. So this is the humble mood of a Vaishnava author. So he depends completely on the mercy of previous acharyas, and he does not deviate from their teachings. He has absolutely no mood of surpassing the previous acharyas, and he does this service as a humble service to the other Vaishnavas for one's own self-purification. I am engaged in the service of these devotees by the Guru Parampara for my own self-purification. By serving these Vaishnavas who are going to read this literature, I become purified. So Kaviraj Goswami offers obeisances to even readers of Caitanya-caritamrita. He says, I keep the dust from the lotus feet of all the readers of Caitanya-caritamrita on my head. Now, see, he may be writing for the benefit of all the Vaishnavas so that they become familiar with Mahaprabhu's pastimes, but Kaviraj Goswami, he is so humble that he is offering obeisances to his readers also. He is not thinking that I am delivering my readers. No, by reading this and blessing me, they are delivering me. That is his mood. So, that's the mood of great Vaishnava devotees. Now, Srila Prabhupada also, when he was going to the West, he says that Srimad Bhagavatam is going to the West, and I am accompanying Srimad Bhagavatam as a humble menial servant. Prabhupada is not saying, I am taking Bhagavatam to the West, right? So he is only saying that I am accompanying Bhagavatam. That's the mood, that's the attitude of a Vaishnava author. So more than the literary embellishments in a literature written by a Vaishnava, more than the grammatical accuracy, more than the poetic abilities that he has shown in the writing, more than the kind of vocabulary that he has used, more than all these things, the attitude is what inspires us. So now you see the Vaishnava author, our Kaviraj Goswami's attitude. He says, now with this background, he begins to describe Chaitanya tree. In the 6th shloka, he says, Malakaraha swayam Krishna, prema marataruh swayam. This is very key shloka. Data bhokta tatphalanam yastam Chaitanya Mashraye. So let's meditate on this shloka. Malakaraha swayam Krishna. So Malakara means a gardener. So Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is the gardener of this tree of love of Godhead. Prema amarataru swayam. Prema amarataru. This immortal tree of love of Krishna prema, love of Krishna, is directly the Supreme Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the tree itself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the gardener also. He is Malakara also, Taruhu Swayam. He is the tree itself also. Right? Data Bhokta Tatphalanam. Data, he is the distributor of fruits also. Bhokta, he is the enjoyer of fruits also. Tatphalanam. Yes, Tam Chaitanya Mashraye. I offer my obeisances unto the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, in this shloka, Kaviraj Goswami described Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the tree of Krishna Prema, as the gardener of this tree, as the distributor of the fruits of this tree, as the enjoyer of the fruits of this tree. So four identities of Lord Chaitanya in relation to Bhakti Vriksha. Now you see this big table in the slide. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Vishwambhara. Vishwambhara, he wanted to fill the entire Vishwa, universe, with Krishna Prema. So he is the gardener and planter of Bhakti Kalpataru at Navadvipa, and he is also the trunk, the skanda, he is also the branches simultaneously. So by the Lord's will or desire, water is sprinkled all over the tree. So water is the will of the Lord. And Madhavendra Puri, in Madhavendra Puri, the seed of this bhakti is fructified first. Means in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara, Madhavendra Puri is the personality who manifested this feelings of separation from Krishna or loving Krishna in that mood of separation for the first time, and Mahaprabhu took it ahead. Then Ishwarapuri, in Ishwarapuri this seed fructified next. Ishwarapuri is the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and Ishwarapuri is the guru of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu also. And then Paramananda Puri is the central root of this tree. Keshava Bharati, Brahmananda Bharati, and Brahmananda Puri, Sri Vishnu Puri, Keshava Puri, Krishnananda Puri, Sri Narasimha Tirtha, and Sukhananda Puri. So these 8 great personalities, sannyasis, are roots in 8 different directions. Apart from this 8, there is central root Paramananda Puri. All these 9 sannyasi roots sprouted from the trunk. So, and on the roots Chaitanya tree stood very firmly. And there are several branches and thousands of sub-branches, and the trunk became 2. One is Nityananda, one is Advaita. So the disciples and grand disciples of this Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, they all are seen as the leaves and twigs of this great Chaitanya tree, right? So that is about the Chaitanya tree. So in the 9th chapter that we are discussing now, Kaviraj Goswami describes this Krishna Prema Amarataru, the immortal tree of love of Godhead, which is also called Bhakti Vriksha, means the tree of devotion, which is also called Chaitanya tree. So the tree has this nectarian fruits that come out. So they appeared everywhere. Generally on a tree, the fruits come on the branches. It's a mango tree or whichever tree you take. So the fruits come on the branches. But there is some special tree called Udumba tree. So the fruits come on all the places. So here this Bhakti Vriksha also is such a special tree that fruits appear everywhere, on the trunk, on the leaves, on the twigs, on the branches, everywhere fruits are appearing. So no wealth can equal even one fruit. And this transcendental gardener Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing these fruits without any payment, without any price, without asking whether somebody is qualified or not. Okay, so whether whenever he is distributing these fruits, right, hungry people ate them. Hungry people means those who have the hunger of Krishna Prema. Those are hungry for love of Krishna. When they ate them, they are completely full, they are completely satisfied. And Mahaprabhu also became so happy. Okay, now Mahaprabhu called all the associates of himself, means all the associates of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu are conceived to be the branches and the leaves and the twigs of this Chaitanya tree. So this is Alaukika Vriksha, it's inconceivable tree which is not belonging to any of the material realm, right? So every part of this tree can perform the action of other parts, and tree is generally immovable, but this tree is movable also. You can take the tree from one place to another place and pluck the fruits and distribute like that. Okay, and it's cognizant. Okay, this is Kalpavriksha, and Mahaprabhu is a gardener. So Mahaprabhu says that I am the only gardener of this tree. How many fruits can I distribute? My dear associates, all of you also should take up this project of distributing the fruits of Krishna Prema all over the world. Okay, especially those who are born on this Bharata Varsha have greater responsibility to distribute these fruits of love of Godhead everywhere. Bharata bhumite haila manushya janmayar janma sarthaka kari kara para upakar. So those who are born in this Bharata Varsha should, especially as human beings, they should perfect their own lives by following the process of Krishna consciousness and Janma Sarthaka Kari, then Kara Para Upakar. And you should also help other people to become devotees of Krishna, right? So in this way, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu instructed all the branches and sub-branches who are his own associates, who are his own devotees. So now there is this beautiful shloka from the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Etavad janma safalyam dehinam iha dehishu Pranair arthair dhiya vacha Shreya acharanam sada Etavad janma safalyam Dihina mihadehishu. So this shloka was spoken by Lord Krishna in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, 22nd chapter. After that Vastraharan Leela, when Krishna was going with all the cowherd boys in the forest, he saw the trees and glorified the trees. All the trees in Vrindavan, or general trees in general, they live for others' sake. So, tree tolerates all the wind, all the rains and all the sunlight and the cold, and gives us all facilities. So when we are tormented in the scorching heat of the sun, we can go under a tree and tree gives us shade. When it is rainy, we can go under a tree and then sit there, right? So that the effect of rain will be less on us. And when it is when we need fruits, tree will give us. We need flowers, tree will give us. We need firewood, tree will give us. Even if people throw rocks at the tree, tree will only give fruits in response. So to that degree, trees are tolerant and selfless. So pranair ardhair dhiya vacha shreya acharanam sada. In this way, like the trees, one has to perfect one's life by dedicating one's prana, life, artha, money, dhiya, intelligence, vacha, words, for others' welfare. Shreya acharanam sada. For the welfare of other people, one has to dedicate oneself. And this quality of dedicating oneself can be learned from the trees. So that verse is also quoted here. So in this way, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, being the gardener of this tree of love of Godhead, started instructing all his devotees to distribute the fruits of Krishna Prema everywhere. Basically, he is inspiring everyone to spread Krishna consciousness, Krishna's holy names and love of Krishna everywhere. That's the 9th chapter. Now the next 3 chapters, 10th, 11th and 12th chapters present the various branches. Now there is this Chaitanya tree and there are 2 main trunks of this tree, Advaita trunk and Nityananda trunk. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the tree itself, the main trunk, he has several devotees in Jagannath Puri and in Varanasi and in Navadvip at various places. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees are described in 10th chapter, and Advaita Acharyas and Nityananda Prabhu's devotees are described in the later 2 chapters. So like that, all the devotees in Chaitanya Leela are figuratively considered to be the trees and branches, to be the branches and sub-branches and twigs of this Chaitanya tree. So that is the theme of the next few chapters. Only names are given, and the identities of all these devotees in Krishna Leela are also given in this chapter. So we may not be reading through all the names presented in these 3 chapters. So these 3 chapters you can go through Caitanya-caritamrita, and if you want a quick list of all the names and their identities in Krishna Leela, I had given a table in Caitanya Subodhini. You can refer to that. So we will go through these 3 chapters little quickly. So first shloka of the 10th chapter. You see that picture where Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is like the tree and there are branches, so many branches, they are all his devotees. Sri Caitanya padam bhoja madhupebhyo namo namaha kathanchit ashrayat esham swapitad gandha bhag bhavet. So as usual, Kaviraj Goswami begins this chapter also by offering obeisances unto Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? Madhupebhyo namo namaha. He is offering obeisances to the devotees of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu who are accustomed to lick the honey from the lotus feet of Lord Caitanya. Then he further offers obeisances to other associates of the Lord, and he says, Vande Sri Krishna Caitanya Premamarataro Priyan Shakharupan Bhakta Ganan Krishna Prema Phala Pradan. Vande Sri Krishna Caitanya, offering obeisances to Sri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Premamarataro Priyan. So he himself is Premamarataru. He is the immortal tree of Krishna Prema. And Shakha Rupan Bhakta Ganan. His devotees are the shakhas or the branches of this tree. Krishna Prema Phala Pradan. and these branches provide phala, means fruits of Krishna Prema. So one more description of Chaitanya tree. Now you can refer to Caitanya Subodhini for a quick glance of all the names of the branches of Chaitanya tree, basically the names of all the devotees. The activities of these devotees are described throughout Caitanya-caritamrita, but only names are given and their identities in Krishna Lila are also given to some of them, and some are there in purport, some are there in shlokas. And also Mahaprabhu's devotees are existing in various places. Some are in Orissa, Jagannath Puri, some are in Bengal, and some are in Varanasi. So like that all these names are given there. Okay. So that's the 10th chapter. Now we will enter the 11th chapter. 11th chapter describes the expansions of Nityananda Prabhu, the devotees of Lord Nityananda. So let's read the shlokas. Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Sri Krishna Caitanya Tahara Charana Shritayai Sei Dhanya Jaya Jaya Shri Advaita Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhura Sarva Bhakta Vrinda. So as usual, offering obeisances to Panchatatvas and Bhakta Vrinda, all the devotees of Panchatatvas. So obeisances unto the sub branches of Nityananda trunk of this Chaitanya tree. So you can go through Caitanya-caritamrita or Caitanya Subodhini for the full list of names. So now there is one important shloka here. 58 and 59 shlokas describe about the distribution of fruits of love of Godhead. Anargala prema sabara cheshta anargala prema dite Krishna dite dhare mahabala. So anargala prema sabara cheshta anargala. The activities of all the devotees of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and the devotees of Nityananda Prabhu are really great and inconceivable, and they profusely distribute Krishna Prema on the order of the Lord. Okay. So I offer my obeisances unto Rup and Raghunath and conclude this chapter, Kaviraj Goswami says, and he goes to the next chapter. Adilila, 12th chapter. So 12th chapter presents the branches of this Advaitacharya and Gadadhar Pandit, their devotees, their expansions. Now there is little discussion about Advaitacharya's followers. Advaitacharya's followers are of two types, Sara and Asara. Essence seekers and those who reject the essence. So there are some real followers of Advaitacharya, they are Sara. There are some false followers of Advaitacharya, they are Asara. So now he offers obeisances to Sara devotees. So some devotees have strictly followed the orders of Advaitacharya. They followed the principles of devotional service enunciated by Advaitacharya. They are strict and sincere followers of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. But some people deviated from the path. If we are not careful, although we are fortunate enough to come to the path of devotional service, we may deviate from there if we are not careful. So the spiritual master's order is the active principle of spiritual life. See, Acharyera matayeyi seyi matasara tara agna laghi chale seyita asara. One who follows the principles of devotional service given by Acharya is a Sara devotee. Sara means a person who seeks the essence. Those who deviate from the principles of Acharya are Asara people, right? So they become useless. They unnecessarily spoil their own spiritual progress. So Advaitacharya has so many followers, only some of them are bona fide, but some of them are not bona fide. So the first three branches of Advaitacharya are, one is Achyutananda, the biggest branch, right? He is the eldest son of Advaitacharya. Second is Krishna Mishra. He is also bona fide and he is the second son of Advaitacharya. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu always resided in the heart of Krishna Mishra. He is such a great devotee. He exactly followed the footsteps of Advaitacharya in his love for Lord Caitanya and his devotion to Lord Krishna. The third branch is Sri Gopala branch. He is the third son of Advaitacharya. Once when all the devotees of Navadvip went to Jagannath Puri, in Jagannath Puri, just before Jagannath Rath Yatra, all the devotees of Navadvip and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and other devotees in Orissa, they all gathered together and cleaned the Gundicha temple. So one such year, during the Gundicha margin, during the cleaning of Gundicha temple, this Sri Gopala, the third son of Advaitacharya, he fainted. In the kirtan was going on, he fainted, he became unconscious. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaitacharya became very worried. Oh, my son fainted. Auspicious event of Gundicha margin is going on. Auspicious Harinam Sankirtan is going on. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Sarabham Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, such exalted souls are there around, but still he just fell down, he fainted. So Advaitacharya was very much worried. But Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sri Gopal, get up and chant Krishna's names. And just by hearing the voice of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Gopal just came back to consciousness. He got up and he jumped up in the air, ecstatically danced and chanted the holy names of Krishna. Right? So these are the three prominent sons of Advaitacharya. All three are bona fide followers of Lord Caitanya. They are great devotees, exalted devotees. But there are three more sons of Advaitacharya. They are reject sons. They are Asara people. Sri Balarama, Swarupa and Jagadisha, they could not follow the principles of Advaitacharya. They deviated from the path of bhakti. So they are not counted as bona fide branches of Advaita tree. Now, that's why these three are not counted as branches. Only first three sons of Advaitacharya are counted as branches, branch 1, branch 2, branch 3. Branch 4 is another devotee. His name is Kamalakanta Vishwas. He is also a very intimate associate of Advaitacharya. He is a confidential servant of Advaitacharya. But he did one small mistake out of love for Advaitacharya only. So he once came to know that he wrote a letter to Prataprudra Maharaj once. So he mentioned that Advaitacharya is indebted to you. He owes some money to you, right? So don't worry, I will do the needful. So like that he wrote there. He wrote in the letter, right? I will clear the debt to that effect. He wrote something. Somehow that letter, the news of that letter came to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Kamalakanta Vishwas, he is definitely a great devotee of Advaitacharya, and he knows Advaitacharya is a Bhaktavatara and he is the Supreme Lord. But he wrote that he is a debtor to Prataprudra Maharaj. How can the Supreme Lord be indebted to someone? So this is little against the Siddhanta in one sense. So now Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu came to know that Kamalakanta Vishwasa mentioned Advaitacharya as a debtor to the king. He ordered Govinda. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Govinda, never allow Kamalakanta Vishwas here anymore. So this news came to Kamalakanta and he became devastated. He was so disappointed. Then he felt so bad and Advaitacharya came and consoled him. Actually, punishment is also mercy. Sometimes a devotee may be punished by the Lord and the punishment seems very strict. But still, the Lord is very kind and affectionate towards his devotees. He wanted to purify certain traces of contamination in the minds of even sincere devotees also. So punishment is also mercy. So once Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu even chastised and started beating Advaitacharya because Advaitacharya was reciting some Mayavad philosophy. We will discuss it after some time. We will discuss it in the next episode. So he started beating Advaitacharya. Actually, Advaitacharya purposefully behaved like that and then got the beatings of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu because Mahaprabhu is always respecting Advaitacharya as a guru. So that's why Advaitacharya was very uncomfortable to receive respect. He wanted to receive some chastisement and punishment and scoldings from Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He felt fortunate when Mahaprabhu actually chastised him. Okay. Then after Mahaprabhu became angry and chastised Advaitacharya, Advaitacharya said, oh, now I am very fortunate. I got chastisement from you. And Mahaprabhu became very embarrassed. Okay. Because Advaitacharya was only doing a drama. He never meant to speak anything Dhyana or Mayavad kind of philosophy. So, anyways, Kamalakanta Vishwas also was punished by Lord Caitanya here by not allowing him to come in his company. But that punishment is also mercy. But later Kamalakanta Vishwas was forgiven by Lord Caitanya and Lord Caitanya just told him, Advaita Acharya is directly the Supreme Lord. You can never mention that he is a debtor to someone. So that is an offense to him. So you should not, of course he never intended to offend, but he just mentioned like that. Okay. So Mahaprabhu just consoled him and then again accepted him into his company. So Lord Chaitanya instructed Kamalakanta. So these are the inconceivable dealings of the Lord with his devotees. Only the Lord and Advaita Acharya can understand the intentions of other devotees. That's about the fourth branch, Kamalakanta Vishwas. And the fifth branch of Advaita tree, or Advaita sub-branch, or the Advaita main trunk is Yadunandana Acharya. Yadunandana Acharya is another great devotee. He is actually the guru of Radhanath Das Goswami. So Raghunath Das Goswami was living at his house. He is the son of Govardhan Majumdar. His uncle was Hiranya Majumdar. We will discuss Raghunath Das Goswami's story in Antyalila 6th chapter. But at this stage, let's only know that Raghunath Das Goswami was a disciple of Yadunandana Acharya, and that Yadunandana Acharya is one of the devotees of Advaita Acharya. So like that, there are so many other branches of Advaita trunk also. You can go through Caitanya-caritamrita and Caitanya Subodhini, that table, summarized table for more names. Only names are given here, not so much of pastimes. So Advaita branch received water from Lord Chaitanya, and Advaita branch was so nourished. And there are ungrateful branches. They are deviants after Mahaprabhu's disappearance. So when Mahaprabhu departed, these people, they deviated from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, principles of Lord Chaitanya. That's why when Acharya disappears, there is sometimes a risk of his disciples or his followers getting misguided if they are not careful. So now anyone without Krishna consciousness is dead, although he is living, and he is punishable by Yamaraj. So Kaviraj Goswami says, so when one becomes a non-devotee, then there is a transmigration and there is hellish life also. So there are many more branches. So point is, simply by remembering the names of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, whether it is Advaita Acharya or Nityananda Prabhu or Kamalakanta Vishwas or Raghunath Das Goswami or Achyutananda or anyone, there will be freedom from material entanglement, and one can attain the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One can fulfill all one's spiritual desires. Okay. And there is Gadadhar Pandit also, and he also has some branches. So they are also described briefly. So Kaviraj Goswami concludes this chapter with these two beautiful shlokas about Gaura Leela. He says, Gaura Leelamrita Sindhu Apara Agadha Kekarite Pare Tahan Avagha Sadha Avagaha Sadha Tahara Madhurya Gandhe Lubdha Yamana Atayeva Tate Rahi Chaki Eka Kanam. Gaura Leelamrita Sindhu. Gaura is Lord Chaitanya. Leela means his pastimes, Amrita means nectar, Sindhu means ocean. All the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are like a big ocean of nectar. Apara Agadha, and this ocean of nectar is Apara, is unlimited. Agadha means you cannot find the depths of this ocean. It's so deep and it is so expansive. You cannot find the shore, you cannot dive deep. So, ke karite pare tahan avagaha sadha. What is the possibility of we understanding this unlimited, unfathomable ocean of Lord Chaitanya Leela? So, Kaviraj Goswami says that tahara madhurya gandhe lubdha yamana. Madhurya gandha, the sweetness of the fragrance of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya can completely immerse our minds. And Atayeva tare rahi chaki eka kana. So I am unable to go into the depths of the ocean of Lord Chaitanya's Leelas. I am just standing on the shore and then tasting one drop of that nectarian ocean. So Mahaprabhu's pastimes are ocean of nectar. So that's what Kaviraj Goswami describes in these shlokas. So that completes the 12th chapter. Now we will begin 13th chapter, in which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is described. So Kaviraj Goswami begins this chapter like this. Saprasidatu Chaitanya Devo Yasya Prasadataha Tallila Varnane Yogyaham Sadyah Syadadhamopyayam Sab prasidatu Chaitanya. May that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu be pleased. Prasidatu. May Chaitanya. Devo yasya prasadataha. By his prasada, by his mercy, tal leela varnane yogyaha. I become qualified to describe his leelas. Means one cannot glorify Krishna without the sanction and mercy and blessings of Krishna or Lord Chaitanya. Sadhya hasyat adhamopyayam. Even adhama or foolish people also can describe the glories of Lord Chaitanya when they have his blessings. So all glories to the moons who dissipated the darkness of material world. Who are the moons? Gaurachandra and Nityananda Prabhu. Okay. Now, after describing the tattva of Lord Chaitanya and his associates in the first 7 chapters, and after describing Chaitanya tree in the next 5 chapters, first 7, then 8 to 12. So these are all like pastimes that present philosophy and characters. Right? These are all chapters that present the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya and characters in Chaitanya Leela. Now he begins to chronologically describe Lord Chaitanya's pastimes from his appearance onwards. So Mahaprabhu appeared in 1486 AD and he disappeared in 1534 AD. And the first 24 years of Mahaprabhu's appearance, Mahaprabhu's pastimes, they are called Adilila, and the remaining 24 are called Seshalila. And Seshalila is divided into 2 parts, Madhyalila and Antyalila. Madhyalila describes the first 6 years of Mahaprabhu's pastimes as sannyasi, and Antyalila describes the last 18 years of his life. Okay. So in the first 24 years we see the Balya Leela of Lord Chaitanya, Pauganda Leela, then Kaishora Leela and Yavana Leela. Balya means from the birth of a child till he is 5 years old. And from 5 to 10 it is Pauganda, and 10 to 15 it is Kaishora, and beyond 15 it is Yavana. All these Leelas are described now. Next, summary of Adilila is given in this one beautiful chapter. So Mahaprabhu appeared on Falguna Purnima. Sarva Sadguna Purnam Tam Vande Falguna Purnimam Yasyam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Avatirnaha Krishna Namabhi. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on Falguna Purnima, means somewhere in January, February, like that. So Falguna Purnima, February, March, like that. And Sarva Shadguna Purnam, he is completely endowed with all good qualities and all opulences. So he appeared on Falguna Purnima, and Avatirnaha Krishna Namabhi. While he made his appearance, everyone was chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hari Hari Bale Loka Harshita Hayya Janmila Chaitanya Prabhu Nama Janma Iya. So even from the very moment of his birth or appearance in this world, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began spreading Yoga Dharma. He made everyone chant the holy names of Krishna. While he appeared, while he was crying also, when he was a small baby, small infant baby, he would cry, as it is natural for infants. So when he cries, all the neighboring ladies would come there and chant holy names of Krishna, Krishna, Hari, like that. Then Mahaprabhu would stop chanting, stop crying. So even as an infant baby, even as a baby who is appearing, who is just taking birth, Mahaprabhu induced everyone to chant the holy names of Krishna. So during his Yavana, Mahaprabhu married, and Pauganda is still married. Okay, anyways, it's all just a list of pastimes, list of categories of pastimes. So a summary is given. Anyways, we are going to describe in detail. I'll skip these few shlokas in this chapter. Then next shloka. Ananta Chaitanya Lila Kshudra Jiva Hayam Kevarnite Pare Taha Vistara Kariyam. Ananta Chaitanya Leela, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are Ananta, unlimited. Kshudra Jiva Haya. How can a lowly, fallen, ignorant being like me completely describe the Leelas of Lord Chaitanya? It's not possible. He is having unlimited Leelas, right? So I am only giving a concise summary. Kaviraj Goswami is saying this. Leela Mritate Ho Kaila Aswadan Tara Bhukta Sesha Kichu Kariye Charvan. Actually, the basis of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are two diaries. One, Murari Gupta kept a diary. In the diary, he recorded all the pastimes of Lord Caitanya, pre-sannyas pastimes. And post-sannyas pastimes, our Radhanath Das Goswami wrote in his diary. So these two diaries, or kadachas, they are the source of information on Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu descended on this planet as Nimai, and before he made his appearance, his superiors like Jagannath Mishra, Sachi Mata, they are basically Nanda and Yashoda only, and Advaita Acharya and many such elders of Lord Caitanya appeared. Then finally Lord Krishna appeared in the form of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, at that time, before Lord Chaitanya's appearance, our Advaita Acharya was doing Krishna Katha, Krishna Puja and Nama Sankirtan at his house. Sarva Shastra Kahe Krishna Bhakti Ravyakyan Jnana Yoga Tapo Dharma Nahe Maneyan. So all the Shastras are ultimately glorifying Krishna Bhakti. So all the living entities are meant to perform devotional service unto Krishna. That is what is the job profile of everybody. So Advaita Acharya knows this, so he is doing Krishna Bhakti and his intimate associates and other devotees are also doing Krishna Bhakti. But Advaita Acharya felt pained to see many other materialistic people not doing Krishna Bhakti. So he says, Krishna avatari karena bhaktira vistar tabeta sakala lokera hai benistar. Krishna avatarite, when Krishna appears as an incarnation in this world, and bhaktira vistar, when he spreads the process of devotional service, then nistara, deliverance of common people can happen. By bhakti vistara, people will attain nistara. Okay, vistara means expanding bhakti, nistara means getting delivered from this material existence. So with this intention, Advaita Acharya worshipped Krishna with Tulasi and Gangajal, and he was loudly chanting the holy names of Krishna and calling him, inviting him to this material world. So now before Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's birth, our Sachi Mata, Jagannath Mishra, they had 8 daughters. Now all these daughters were born and they died immediately. So Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata, they felt so bad that, oh, our children are taking birth and then they were dying immediately. So they worshipped Lord Govinda with so much of devotion, begging for one child who can survive. So then they received Vishwarupa as their son. So when Vishwarupa appeared as the son, he did not die, he was surviving, he was looking so beautiful, he is actually Balaramji. So they became so happy and they increased their worship of Lord Govinda. Now in this context, Prabhupada makes a very beautiful point that devotees worship Krishna not only in distress, they worship Krishna even in happiness also. Earlier, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata were in distress because their children were dying. Now, Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra were in happiness because Vishwarupa was born. But in both situations, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata always worshipped Lord Govinda without any deviation. So it's not that devotees will forget Krishna in materially comfortable situations or materially miserable situations. In all situations, they are always devoted to Krishna, right? So now, after this, after Vishwarupa's birth, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has entered Sachi Mata's womb. At that time, Sachi Mata's body was so effulgent. There were celestial beings who were offering prayers, and they had a dream. Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, they had a dream also, right? The Lord has entered their hearts. So then in the 13th month of pregnancy, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has made his appearance on Falguna Purnima day, because it's an eclipse time. During eclipse, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Everyone was chanting the holy names to create auspiciousness there. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu made his appearance while everyone was chanting the holy names. So why there is eclipse in Mahaprabhu's appearance time? Because Mahaprabhu is like Purna Chandra. He is full moon and spotless moon. So when the spotless moon is appearing, the moon in the sky who is full of spots felt embarrassed, felt ashamed. Right? Oh, why? When Akalanka Gaurachandra is appearing, Sakalanka Chandra has no meaning. So he just went behind eclipse. Akalanka Gaurachandra Dila Darshan, Sakalanka Chandra Ara Kona Prayojan. If Akalanka Gaurachandra is giving darshan, Sakalanka Chandra has no no need, right? Kona Prayojan, what is the use of this moon with full of spots, right? So he just went behind eclipse. Jagata Bhariya Loka Bale Hari Hari Se Kshane Gaura Krishna Bhume Avatari. Entire the people in the universe were chanting the holy names Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. At that time Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu made his appearance. Now there are other shlokas that describe the auspicious descent of Lord Caitanya. So when Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, there was dancing and chanting and there is a lot of jubilation throughout the universe. And Jagannath Mishra distributed a profuse amount of charity to everyone. There is jubilation in all the three worlds, and the birth ceremony of Lord Caitanya is conducted very grandly. And the wife of Srivas Thakur and Chandrasekhara came to Jagannath Mishra's house and offered various gifts to the newborn baby, infant baby. They served the infant baby with auspicious paraphernalia. And Advaitacharya's wife, Sita Thakurani, she also came with lot of paraphernalia and gave a name to this baby, Nimai, right? So, and also Nilambara Chakravarti, the grandfather of Nimai, he predicted the greatness of the child, right? He did astrology. So, and in this way, Kaviraj Goswami describes the appearance pastime of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and there are many more details in this chapter. You can go through by reading Caitanya-caritamrita. So this is a very quick summary of Caitanya-caritamrita Adilila up to 13th chapter. Today we began from 8th chapter, we completed up to 13th chapter, because most of these chapters are filled with the names of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's associates. And in the next session, we will begin from the 14th chapter and we will complete the Adilila. We will complete the remaining pastimes of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu up to his acceptance of sannyasa in the next session. Thank you all very much. Sri Caitanya-caritamrita ki jai, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.